I can't see her doing something like that. She's super intelligent. I can't.
This is the moment where our main character, Zach, realizes his wife, who was named Ashley, was a secret murderer. Police found Taylor Rice, who was a friend of his wife, lying deceased on his property. Police instantly suspected Ashley as the main culprit, but Zach, of course, refused to believe it because, of course, it's his wife. But little did he know he was about to get the shock of his life in this interrogation room.
Can you tell me how you came to know Taylor?
Through working PI cases.
Okay.
She'd come over to our house every now and then. She met my wife. They became friends.
Did you guys ever have a falling out or?
Never. From doing this job for so long, I would just pick up little lies from her. Stuff just didn't start seeming right. She would disappear for days. You couldn't get her on the phone. Greg and I would try to call her. You couldn't get her on the phone.
Taylor was known to go missing for days at a time. But this time, it was quite different. It wasn't her just going missing for a couple of days or even a couple of weeks. But this time, the last time she was seen was over a month ago before she was found. Early on the case, police believed her disappearance was nothing out of the ordinary, but she left everything at home. And what little text that she sent to her friends was in a language that she wouldn't normally use.
Now you've read the news and everything.
Yeah.
You kind of know the date that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to go back and pinpoint where you were on the 8th of September?
It's very, I can't remember, but I've tried to do the very best I can so I could tell y'all the best I can. I went to the bank yesterday to pull my statement. I know I ate lunch at the seafood place at 9 Mile in Pine Forest. I ate there, and I remember eating by myself, and I remember Ash not being able to make it because she was tied up with work.
Taylor would be last seen on September 8th, so Zach would do his best to reattempt to recount what he was doing on that day, given that he used his debit card to purchase food in the area. It's likely his story is true, but what's interesting though is that he mentioned he was out on his own. His wife was busy at work, and it seemed like he fully believed this to be the truth. And while he knows she's been questioned for this murder as well, what he doesn't know that his wife is the police's #1 suspect. The police at this point aren't trying to unsolve anything about this case. They're just trying to determine that if Zach had a hand in this murder, or at the very least turn him against his own wife.
Do you know anything about this money that Taylor had given you all?
No, absolutely not. She's never given me anything. I've never got anything from that. No.
Okay. Do you know anything about your finances?
No, to be honest. I give her when I work a case or and I got a settlement from my attorney, I hand it straight to Ash. She takes care of everything.
The cash that the detective is referring to is a staggering $34,000 that Taylor had given to Ashley for safekeeping. Taylor was going through a divorce and she wanted to keep the money away from her own accounts, but instead of putting it in a safety deposit as promised, records show that Ashley would put it into her own bank account, and by the time Taylor wanted all of her money back, Ashley had spent all of it. Coincidentally, Taylor would ask for the money back on the 8th of September. And if it's not obvious by now, Zach is a very caring person who trusted his wife a lot. So as he provided solid answers on where he was when Taylor initially disappeared, and his involvement into the couple's finance equated to almost nothing. But the detectives have to rule out any involvement whatsoever, so they decided to discuss on where the body was found.
The property up on Britt Road,
Mm-hmm.
and that's owned by her aunt and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been out there?
Yeah.
When's the last time you think you were out there?
The last time I went out there is when I traded my four-wheeler for a side-by-side. And that's the last time I've been. Before that, I couldn't tell you.
But when was that?
A couple months back.
Your phone number, the 554 number, do you always keep that on you?
Yeah, I reckon.
Do you ever loan it out to anybody?
No.
Okay.
No.
Would you
No.
ever loan it to anybody? Or
No.
do you remember Ashley ever using it, taking it with her?
No. Never.
Okay, did it ever get lost or stolen or anything and get replaced?
No, not that I recall.
Now that might sound like a random question, but phone records actually play a very big part in uncovering the truth of this case. Not only did they show Ashley on the property that Taylor was found deceased on the 8th, but another thing that they also showed was Taylor's phone at a wedding that Ashley attended the very next day. But Taylor was never seen at the wedding or anywhere else after that date. Detectives are trying to just confirm that a suspicious activity was found from Zach's phone records, because if there was no way to argue that it wasn't him in control of his phone. But again, remember, Zach has very little idea surrounding the true nature of this case, and he doesn't know how much evidence the police have against his wife. All he's doing is defending himself and providing answers that hopefully will solve this case.
Do you own any 9mm
Yeah.
handguns? What kinds?
My Glock.
Just one or
Yeah. When I've got a lot of guns, so a lot. I think one Glock 9.
what model?
19.
19? Okay. Do you know how Taylor died?
Yeah, for Ackerman told me that the girl was shot, and he heard that from Mulchan.
So Ackerman told you and he got it from Mulchan?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he elaborate on anything else?
He just said that they thought the girl was shot.
Okay. Did you ever buy Ashley a gun or anything of that nature?
Man, over the years, yeah. I bought her a 380 one time.
What kind?
PPK.
Okay. And does she carry a firearm?
I haven't seen her one in quite a while. Not at all. Mm-mm.
Do you own a 38
I-
airweight?
Yes. And that, I mean, she used to, that's the last thing I ever remember seeing her with was a 38 airweight. And that was, I haven't seen her with that in I don't know how long.
I mean, I'm interested. Did you kill or participate in the death
Absolutely
of?
not. I would
What
never.
is this question?
Okay. What ahead?
Did you kill or participate, or do you have any knowledge?
Zero, Jason. Absolutely none. I don't want to be nowhere near it, nothing involved with it, nothing. I know nothing about it.
So given his compliance so far, detectives decided to try and question him about some more physical evidence. And as you can see, detectives were trying to put the pressure on Zach. And while you can see that Zach just seems extremely comfortable at this point, and the detectives are trying to figure out, is his calmness coming from the calmness of the interview and just the more casual approach that the detectives have approached it on, or is he just genuinely innocent? However, Zach stays calm and his body language confirms this as the pressure mounts. Zach doesn't lean back, doesn't cross his arms, or really becomes closed off in any way as a guilty person may. Instead, he leans forward, keeps good eye contact, and his statements are clear and concise. And he's leaning towards the detective, proving that he feels safe around them and that he's not going to hide anything, and yet the pressure is continuing to mount.
What do you think happened to Taylor?
I couldn't tell you, Jason. I mean, I don't know. I mean, nobody deserves to ever get anything happen to them like that whatsoever. I don't know, buddy. I don't know what happened to her.
And I'm asking you, as this investigation continues, whether it's text, phone records, computers, financials, is there going to be anything that hems you up or ties you
absolutely
to that?
nothing.
Well, and not just being involved in the actual murder, but as far as, afterwards.
Helping conceal.
If any person in this world was like, hey, Zach, come help me do something, I would run from that mother as fast as I could.
Well, I mean, just hell, it's all over the news.
Yeah.
You've read it.
Yeah, I've read
Right.
it, and
And I mean,
trying to swallow it and figure it out. I mean, it's like, it's terrible.
but you've read it, so you know at least some of the details. Just based upon that and your knowledge of the job that we do and the job that you used to do, what's your thought?
Feelings aside,
Just logically.
I can't see her doing something like that. I mean, she's super intelligent. You know, she's got a
master's degree.
Yeah, or is it master's or I don't know, one of the two. And that's just sloppy. I mean, that's sloppy. I can't see her doing that.
Clearly there's a lot going on in Zach's head right now, and he obviously doesn't want to believe that his wife has just killed someone. But with his years of an experienced PR, coupled with all the convincing evidence against his wife, logically it has to be convincing to him. Otherwise, there were not only just bank statements and cell phone records, but Ashley even got caught on camera at a hardware store purchasing the exact same cement that was used to fill the grave of Taylor. At this point though, really, detectives had seen all that they needed to, and Zach would take a minute to discuss a few things with his lawyer, and he signs a search warrant allowing them to obtain all of his phone records. Eventually, Zach was fully cleared of any wrongdoing and was allowed to return back home. His wife, however, it was a different story.
In the circuit court in Forest, Gambia County, Florida, State of Florida versus Ashley Britt MacArthur, case number 1717CF005844A, verdict as to the charge in count 1, we the jury find the defendant, Ashley MacArthur, guilty of first-degree premeditated murder with a firearm as charged in the indictment. So say we all. David A. Faust, foreperson, dated August 30th, 2019.
Ashley McCarthy was sentenced to life in prison with a mandatory sentence of 25 years and is now serving her time away from her husband behind bars. So that'll be it for today's video. Comment below if these type of true crime documentary style videos intrigues your interest, because if so, I'll make more. But with all that being said, if true crime stories or stories like these intrigues your interest, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to my YouTube channel, as that's all I do and I upload once a week. But with all that being said, I thank you for watching, and yeah, goodbye.